marriage.
Port, sir.
Brandy.
Brandy, sir.
Port.
Marriage or murder? Intriguing alternative.
Murder is conclusive,
Marriage can be final.
but murder is tidier.
Marriage is less dangerous.
What's it to be? Marriage.
You think murder?
It has certain advantages.
And disadvantages?
It gets her out of the way.
Irreparably so.
Oh, perhaps you're right.
There's a great deal in what you say. Very fine, Brandy.
Excellent Port. You see, it's like this. If she is murdered, this whole episode is over and done with once and for all. But if we marry her, then this state of affairs will go on forever.
But the risks, my dear Douglas, the attendant risks to murder nowadays. Do you think it advisable?
Isn't marriage also said to be a risk?
Yes, but one more easily negotiated than murder.
I'm sure something can be devised.
Suspicion would be immediate. Motives are too obvious. If the girl dies, we inherit the money. It's entailed. It returns to the estate.
But motives are insufficient to convict a man, Francis.
Motives are sufficient to wind up a case, Douglas.
Quite a dilemma.
Surely, in a case like this, it is wisest to be guided by the past.
I quite agree. Our fathers must have faced this problem 100 times. How did they solve it?
Let us find out. The 19th century mostly married the girl.
That was before the emancipation of women. It won't work now. Earlier centuries were all for murder.
With little success.
With great success.
Ancestor Ethelred, for example, in 1256. The family history suggests he chose murder, and then fell into the molten lead himself.
But he was an exception, Francis. You're forgetting Arthur and Egbert and Constantine over on pages 82 to 98. 3 generations of inspired assassinations, an accident while riding, a stray arrow at a hawking party, and a pricked finger on a rusty spindle. They had no difficulty in dispatching the women that stood between them and their mother's lands.
Things were much easier in the olden days.
Oh, nonsense. The house is still full of their old swords and battle axes, some still as sharp.
I meant it was easier to carry it off.
Oh, I suppose so.
Just for the sake of argument, let us consider marriage. Marry the girl, and the estate at least remains in the family.
But she will have her legal rights, she will have her advisors, she will always be here, there, and in the way.
But it is a compromise which would assure us the spoils.
Would it not be a constant danger to have her always present, the final word of authority, and we, the creatures of her capricious whims?
Not if she is married.
Eventually she'll discover this deception.
We must not let her.
That would require an eternal endeavor.
Nothing is achieved without endeavor.
Then let our endeavor be quick, sharp, accurate, and to the heart. Not a life sentence of humble dependency.
My dear Douglas, you are too impetuous with your paper knife. Sergeant X will find the implement. Inspector Y will examine the ornate handle and ivory blade. Z will interpret the marks, the stains, the smudges, my dear Douglas.
And you, my dear Francis, are too dilatory. Solicitor A will hear the details, Barrister B state the case, and C will grant the decree nisi.
Murder will out.
Marriage will reveal the matter.
Let us begin, at least with caution, not take a step that's irrevocable.
Very well. I agree to marry.
You are most conciliatory, but I think you will find you are well advised.
Oh, I have no doubt. Now, what of the lady, her precise relationship to us, her age, looks, breeding, and education? These are points which I fancy might profitably be discussed.
My dear Douglas, we've been over this a dozen times already.
There's no harm in further summary of so important an issue. After all, she is the closest female relative to our late lamented great-grandmother. What does that lawyer's letter tell us?
Nothing. Only that she is of the stipulated age at which she inherits our estates.
Straightway she is swooping on her prey.
So it would seem.
Too avaricious for the ideal wife. Do you suppose she has great beauty to compensate?
Her coloring, so I'm told, is faded. The hair straw-like in texture, mousy-colored. Her features insignificant, and her figure flat.
My dear fellow, perhaps, after all, murder.
Her education has been neglected by several schools for gentlewomen, yet she has one saving grace. Her breeding, insofar it is derivative from our own stock, is impeccable.
Her looks, just how plain is she?
There you have me. I have a few photographs of an angular schoolgirl going through the difficult stages of the irregular verbs of little assistance. More recently, a newspaper clipping which has her behind a soup spoon at a hunt ball. The glossy magazines have her under a hatted ascot, beneath a mink at the opera, in disguise, the carnival of flowers.
The flowers are very pretty. And the mink is real.
Her wealth is sufficient to engulf an entire jungle of minks.
And it is into such coffers that our poor pittance is poured. All thanks to a wicked system devised by ancient royalty, too afraid to trust their sons, or conscious of their daughters' ineligibility amongst princes.
Be that as it may, it is our burden. We must bear it or break it.
If marriage will break it, so be it. Just when do you propose to marry the girl?
I, brother.
Yes, brother.
Not I, brother. I intended for you to marry her.
Oh, no. My plan was murder. I'm responsible for that. If we have murder, I'll attend to it. But now we have marriage, and that is your concern.
But I have not your looks, your figure, your fascination for women.
Oh, and I have not your grace, your bearing, your most charming manners. I repeat, you must marry the girl.
Upon reconsidering the scheme in light of further information, and taking into consideration all of its varying aspects, I believe there may be something to be said for your original plan.
You do?
I agree to murder.
You are very conciliatory, but I think you will find you are well advised.
I have no doubt. But what of the method, the precise form of murder? The weapon, the time, the place, the approach? These are points we might very well discuss.
I have given it some thought.
Have we come to a decision?
I have not. Let us examine the methods of the past. Hanging, burning, and knifing were numerous in Tudor times. Poison and strangulation have always been popular. Burying alive had quite a vogue in Queen Anne's day. Shooting is modern, and nuclear explosion is yet untried.
Nothing too noisy.
Perhaps not.
Not too complicated. Unlawful strangulation might fit the bill.
Strangulation would do nicely.
However, there is something to be said for burning, hanging, burying alive, if they can be made to look like accidents.
A very important point, for we must cover our tracks. I have considered using the advantages that we have in hand, like this very old building. After all, if she is to inherit our ancestral home, ought she not lay her bones to rest here? What could be more fitting than the old wine cellar?
Amongst the vats and barrels.
Exactly! Lean on a crumbling beam, step on a treacherous board, alas, so sad, so sudden, so unpremeditated. Nothing so deadly fatal as a ton of masonry.
Excellent idea. And should we fail, we still have choice enough before us to assure success before the visit ends.
We do indeed. We have the Jacobean Tower, a fall of 80 or 90 feet with an odds-on chance of swift impaling.
Yes, I'm sure you're right. Murder can be made to look like a careless step on the ruined tower, or perhaps an accident by an open flame. Why did I ever hesitate before? Marriage. Haven't a good word to say for it.
Yet it too was an excellent solution.
It is good of you to say so, brother, but I'm convinced. You have converted me to murder.
I am glad to see it so. Others might not have grasped the essentials quite so quickly. Harris, for example.
Sir?
We are writing another story, my brother and I.
May I offer you my congratulations, sir, and wish it more success than the last.
This one will make money, Harris, never fear.
I rejoice to hear that, sir.
We would like to sound you on a point, Harris.
I am ready to be sounded, sir.
In our novel, we have an alternative and are in a dilemma as to which is best. We have a girl, an intruder, a stranger, inherit the wealth and estates of an old family after the great-grandmother dies.
Indeed, sir.
Now, the law of inheritance is matriarchal, thus this property passes to this distant cousin, the only female heir. But for her existence, all would have gone to its rightful owners, the current tenants. Two brilliant, charming, talented men.
This is something like your own case, sir.
Very like, very like. An artist is always on safest ground when he pulls his materials straight from life. Now, to proceed. In an endeavor to protect their interests and property, these two men are forced to dispense with this interloper in some way.
I see that, sir.
Now, two methods immediately come to mind. Are they to neutralize her by marriage or murder?
You mean electrocute her in her bath?
Thank you, Harris. We had not thought of that.
Come, Harris, which is it to be? Marriage or murder?
In your story, you mean, sir?
Yes, still on our story.
Then I plump for murder, sir.
Thank you, Harris. You may clear away.
Old Harris has put the black cap on for Cousin Toni.
Encouraging to have the opinion of so thoughtful a man. I feel easier in my mind.
And with a light heart, we can applaud the intricacies of dear Cousin Toni's tragic demise. Have you a scrap of paper?
The back of an envelope.
That'll do nicely. We might polish off Cousin Toni in so small a space. Right, I shall head it marriage or murder. That will be our code. Number 1, Cousin Toni. Number 2, to forestall suspicion. And number 3, to make first attempt in the old wine cellar.
Precisely.
How do we get her down there?
Force, guile, persuasion.
I'm crossing out force, putting a question mark over persuasion. Guile, I think. Guile. We must get her to go down to the old cellar. We must make her provide us with alibis. What time is it?
It isn't the quarter.
Could it be her?
That's impossible.
Excuse me, sir. There is a journalist at the door.
At this time of night.
We're expecting Miss Oberon, Harris. We cannot see anyone.
Yes, sir. I told her that.
Her?
It is a lady journalist, sir, from London. I believe it is about Miss Oberon.
Very well, Harris. Show her in.
Don't forget, Douglas, we are delighted to see our cousin. We bear no resentment towards her whatsoever. We're happy to be rid of this ramshackle place. It's drafty.
Miss Richards.
Good evening. Oh, what a wonderful room! Is this to be Miss Oberon's new home?
Good evening, madam. New is a relative term. This house was new 800 years ago.
How tactless of me. You must be the cousins.
As you so aptly put it.
Not that you're the least bit like Miss Oberon.
Oh, that's what we've gathered from reports.
You never met?
We are waiting for her now.
Oh dear, I couldn't have called it a worse time.
Nonsense. There's anything we can do.
I'm writing a little article on Miss Oberon and hoped for an interview. Perhaps a photo in the Baronial Hall?
Oh, no. No, not there.
No?
We keep it locked up ever since we found the skulls bricked up behind the wall.
Oh dear! Could you suggest another place?
The East Wing, Francis.
What? With the bloodstains on the floor.
The North Wing.
It's full of bats and owls.
The guest room.
Douglas, how could you suggest putting someone in the guest room after what happened there?
What happened there?
Every family has its skeletons, Miss Richards. We do not like discussing ours.
I'm sure you can now appreciate how eager we are to leave this place.
You are?
Oh yes, we cannot wait to get away.
We only hope Miss Oberon is capable of standing up to things.
What sort of things?
Living here seems to have a strange effect on some people, women especially. Perhaps the unusual power they possess here goes to their head.
Indeed.
Take our aunt, Clarissa and Isolde, for example.
What happened to your aunt?
Oh, no sooner had they inherited the estate than, under the impression that she was a fish, Clarissa dived into the lake.
Under the impression that she was a witch, Isolde leapt from the chimney stack,
Good gracious me!
broomstick and all.
Strange creatures, Aunt.
But it's such a lovely old house. It doesn't seem to have upset you two in any way.
No, we are perfectly normal. But it is different in our case. We were born here.
You have lived here your whole life?
Yes.
Well, you must have grown fond of it.
Oh, it does exert a spell. Silly, isn't it? But one does grow to be a part of it after 20 generations of built and bred here.
What a dreadful blow to have to leave.
Oh, we have expected this our whole lives. We've had our entire lives to prepare for dispossession.
Believe it or not, we're quite anxious to give it up despite our attachment. We are only awaiting Miss Oberon's arrival so we can say our goodbyes.
What if Miss Oberon did not choose to stay?
Why would she not?
It's low-lying. She might not find it healthy.
Tell us, Miss Richards, is our cousin ever ill?
Not to my knowledge.
Suffer from any sickness or disease?
Oh, good gracious, no.
What's her resistance like? How strong is she?
What my dear brother is trying to say is she likely to be affected by the damp of this low-lying area?
Oh, no! You won't have an invalid on your hands, never fear.
We are relieved to hear it.
How long does Miss Oberon intend to stay?
Oh, forever, probably.
Well, then perhaps I could call again and see her.
Please do.
Would tomorrow be all right? I'm staying in the village. When I've had my interview, then I can go back to town.
Tomorrow will be all right.
Let's say around about noon.
At 12 o'clock.
Very good. Thank you.
We're so glad you called, Miss Richards. We know so dreadfully little about our cousin. We were curious if you could tell us, quite confidentially, what to expect.
I could, but I doubt you'd believe me.
Why would we not?
She's so simple, naive, and innocent.
Indeed.
I shouldn't like to be in her shoes, not for all her wealth. A tragic example of too much money and a sheltered life.
Go on, Miss Richards. You interest us.
You fascinate us.
So strictly brought up, she has no knowledge of the world. So trusting, she's anyone's fool. And now, so rich, she can never be sure of a friend.
Well, Miss Richards, we intend to change all that.
No one really cares for her.
Well then, Douglas, we must prepare something very special for Miss Oberon. Tell us, Miss Richards, you seem to know a great deal about her. What is her favorite dish?
Crêpe Suzette.
What is her favorite drink?
Bollinger 33.
Thank you, Miss Richards. That's the quarter.
Well, Miss Richards, we do not wish to appear impolite, but we are expecting Miss Oberon very shortly and would like to prepare to receive her.
Oh, I quite understand. Thank you so much. Do please let Miss Oberon know I shall call tomorrow.
Yes, of course.
Harris, Miss Richards is leaving.
Good night.
And good night to you.
The Bollinger 33.
We must attend to that. Harris, if we all want to, Mr. Douglas and I will be down below.
Very good, sir. In the dungeons or the cellars, sir?
In the old cellars, Harris.
Very good, sir.
so sorry. I left my camera.
Here it is, madam.
I can't afford to lose that. What a paintbrush is to an artist, this is to me.
Yes, madam.
Good gracious me, what's that?
Mr. Francis and Mr. Douglas.
What? Where?
Below.
Down those great, dark, dirty stairs?
They are very hard to keep clean, madam.
What are they doing there?
I have no idea.
It sounds like something moving, don't you think?
Very likely, madam.
What have you got down there?
Dungeons, cellars, torture chamber.
Torture chamber?
It is not still in use as such, madam. At least, not regularly.
But it's still there?
Yes, indeed. Parts are bricked up, but the dungeons can still be opened by locks and bolts and chains.
Dungeons? Whatever could they want them for today?
Tax collectors, billeting officers, ladies selling raffle tickets and the like. Last year, a Sunday school picnic got locked down there for the day.
Oh, awful!
It did them the world of good, madam. They came out singing hymns like they had never sung before.
You sound though you rather like living near such frightening things.
I admire the past, madam, and things that resist change.
Ah, you are going to be a little upset, I suppose, by the present arrangement.
You are referring to my change of masters?
Miss Oberon arrives tonight.
I wouldn't dream of discussing the family.
Of course not.
I shall serve Miss Oberon with the devotion I served her great-grandmother.
You have been here as long as that?
I came here as a youth from the village, madam, when the world was very different. Yes, in those days it was an honor. I have been a servant ever since. Others have come and gone. Some were ambitious. Others went when the family were too impoverished to pay.
Why did you stay?
I have my place here, madam. I am part of it.
Talking again, Harris.
I'm afraid so, sir.
I beg your pardon, it was all my fault. I forgot my camera, and Harris proved entrancing.
It is a habit of his. I hope you weren't too annoyed.
Oh, indeed, no. Most interested. Now, I really must go and take no more of your time. Goodbye.
The bait is precariously poised in the snare. Now all we need is for the vixen to put her nose in the trap and a paw on the spring.
The woman was here again.
What woman?
The journalist.
What for?
She said she had forgotten her camera. Harris was talking to her.
How long was she here?
Don't know.
Is she in danger?
Possibly.
What do you think she got out of Harris?
Nothing. I'll guarantee. Did you finish your debate on the doorstep, Harris?
No, sir. You return me to my proper sense of behavior.
What did you tell her, Harris?
I sketched the ethics of my occupation, sir.
Damn your ethics, Harris! What did you tell her about us, about the family, about our cousin coming to visit?
The lady is a journalist, sir. Credit me, please, with some propriety. There is a motor car coming down the drive.
She's here.
Cousin Toni!
That woman put her clean out of my head.
We look perfectly all right. No webs on our clothes, no dust on our hands, no...
Stop. Is everything in order?
Everything's in place.
You stand over there. I'll stand here.
I will rise to meet her.
Miss Oberon.
Cousin Toni.
You have no idea how happy we are to see you, Cousin Toni.
Yes, madam. She arrived last night.
Did she get my message?
Mr. Douglas said you would call at noon.
I'm a little early. May I wait?
Of course, madam.
How does Miss Oberon feel this morning after her travels?
I do not know, miss. I have not seen her today.
Indeed.
I fancy that Miss Oberon is tired after her journey.
She's still asleep at 12 o'clock?
1:45.
Is it not rather late?
Miss Oberon is probably tired after her journey.
What room is she sleeping in?
She has the guest room at present.
Oh dear, I thought something terrible once happened there.
Not once, madam. Several times. Miss Oberon was fully warned of its gruesome history.
Then why has she gone there?
Apparently, she does not believe in sliding panels and figures behind doors.
What?
Miss Oberon is not superstitious.
Well, what about her cousins? I mean, where are they? Surely they must be growing a little apprehensive.
I doubt it, madam. Mr. Francis and Mr. Douglas seldom rise before noon. Did you wish to see either of them?
Oh, no.
How
but
fortunate. Here they are.
Good morning, Miss Richards. How can you to be so prompt?
Miss Oberon said she would be happy to see you precisely as the hour struck.
But I have heard that the lady is still asleep.
Indeed.
I passed by her door a few moments ago, sir, but there was no sound or movement from within.
It's not like her to be late. She prides herself on punctuality.
I was a little anxious when I heard she was in that room.
Wasn't that a coincidence? Just yesterday we were discussing that dreadful room, and on her first night here, she insists on sleeping there.
Couldn't you have stopped her?
We were entirely against it. Weren't we, Harry?
So it appears, sir.
But we are no longer masters. Miss Oberon may go as she likes and do as she pleases.
Yes, I suppose so.
stroll past the guest room door, Harris?
Very good, sir.
And listen for breathing.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Harris, you didn't happen to hear a scream in the night?
Yes, sir, I did.
Miss Oberon?
No, madam, it was I. I stubbed my toe on the mahogany upright and looked into it.
Well, Miss Richards, how long do you intend to stay?
Only until I finished my article. Oh, and I should like some photographs of the house.
Well, I'm sure Miss Oberon would be delighted to show you around. Why not save it after we've gone?
Do you leave so soon?
Well, at the earliest possible moment.
We do not wish to embarrass Miss Oberon.
Oh, have you no regrets?
None whatever.
I think you could testify to how gaily we resigned our rights.
I can indeed.
I passed by Miss Oberon's door, sir. I stopped.
Don't dramatize the situation, Harris. What did you hear?
Nothing, sir.
Oh, Harris, you're as deaf as a post.
Yes, sir.
Don't give it any thought, Miss Richards. On one occasion, Harris did not even hear our Aunt Agricola trapped in the pantry for a day and a half.
Madam, if you saw our pantry...
Don't protest, Harris. Make yourself useful. Miss Richards would like to take a few photographs. Please conduct it to the Baronia Hall. Show the Crusaders grave under the table, and the view from the Devil's Jump.
This way, madam.
What a wonderful piece of luck, Douglas. As long as that woman is in the house, we have a watertight alibi. This is the moment. Something must happen to Cousin Toni here and now, practically in her presence.
Francis, you have a fine capacity for seeing things clearly and logically.
I think so, Douglas. Thank you. You've left Miss Richards in the hall.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Oh, Harris, go and knock at Miss Oberon's door, see if she's overslept.
Yes, sir.
Nothing must happen to Cousin Toni while she is alone with us. That is the only danger. When something unfortunate accounts for her, our alibis must be at hand.
Douglas, I must say, there is a masterly touch about your machinations.
Oh, you think so, Francis? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. I have taken a lovely photograph. Do you think Miss Oberon is...
Mr. Francis, Mr. Douglas.
What is it, Harris?
What's the meaning of this uproar?
Miss Oberon, sir. Miss Oberon has gone.
Gone, Harris. What do you mean, gone?
How can she be gone? Talk sense, Harris.
I passed by her door, sir. I went in, and she was nowhere to be seen.
Were her clothes there?
I never thought to look, madam.
But she can't be gone. Nothing could have happened yet.
Then where is she?
We'll soon find out. Toni! Cousin Toni!
Well?
Look in the gallery, Francis. In the kitchen, Harris. Not there. She's not up there.
I suppose in a house like this, she could be anywhere.
Oh, anywhere, Miss Richards. Absolutely anywhere.
She's not there, sir.
But she must be found.
Douglas, if she's done something silly or gone somewhere dangerous. Oh, I hope to heaven's name she hasn't gone down there.
Cellars!
The torture chamber! Oh, quickly, quickly, we must look!
Yes, we ought to look. We all ought to look.
You really need me?
We shall want every help.
Very well.
Miss Oberon.
Good morning, Cousin Toni.
We trust you slept well.
I slept beautifully. I hope you don't mind my getting up. I woke about 6 o'clock. The sun was shining and the park looked exquisite. I could not resist myself. I've wandered in and out of former garden, parkland, orchard. Oh, I climbed the Jacobean Tower and I explored the hollow caves below. I walked along the old cliff face and I visited the disused quarry. In fact, I don't believe there's a dangerous, tricky, treacherous part of this estate which I haven't seen. It's been exciting, like a challenge. I've had the most magnificent, glorious morning.
You said you've been along the old cliff, eh?
Yes, wicked, isn't it? It looks so safe on the surface, but my, how it crumbles underfoot. That's not a place for a dark night, is it?
No.
And the Jacobean Tower, did you say you climbed the Jacobean Tower?
Right to the top, where a gust of wind might blow you 60 feet down to the iron railings. That's not a place for a windy day, is it?
No.
And the caves, Cousin Toni. You said you've been to the underground cavern?
I have.
And the disused quarry?
I saw that too.
Why, I'm afraid you haven't left us much to show you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll find other things.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Cousin Toni, do you remember Miss Richards?
Of course I remember. That's why I came back. Otherwise, I'd still be exploring this enchanted estate.
Oh, it was very good of you to let me come.
Oh, no, we're honored. I thought that first you'd like to have your photograph.
Exactly what I want to do.
And then after, we'll have our little chat.
Perfect. I've already taken the hall. I would love to do a gallery.
Francis, would that be all right?
Dear Toni, the house is yours. You need not ask our permission.
Well, I thought that there might be certain
Oh,
things that I wasn't
nonsense.
supposed
Miss Richards is free to photograph wherever she pleases. We have nothing to hide.
In that case, Miss Richards, I'll show you the oak gallery. This way.
Oh,
It's so beautiful. Just wait till you
I'm
see.
sure it is.
Well, what do you think?
I think the sooner we get this over and done with, the better. Otherwise, Cousin Toni will have explored the entire estate.
But she's already ruled out for complete certainty.
Beginner's luck.
But the tower, the caves, the quarry, and the cliffs?
My dear Douglas, with the loose supports and the cellar below, we shall require none of these accessories.
Be quiet, she's coming back.
I'm sorry you should be disturbed like this, my first morning here. I hadn't expected it so soon.
We are only too pleased to have the old house in the news.
Oh, it's just a stuffy ladies' magazine.
What could be more delightful?
I've left her in the gallery. She says there's enough there to keep her busy all day.
She isn't going to stay all day.
Of course not. I'll ask her to leave if you don't like her being here.
No, Toni, we're delighted to have Miss Richards here with us this morning. Douglas was only joking. You will get used to it since I came in time.
I'm sure I shall. I shall get used to it. I've been here only a few hours, and yet everything seems so familiar. I know every nook and cranny. It's as if I'd been here all my life.
Well, you do seem to have found your way around rather quickly.
Well, it was second nature. It's as if I'd been here before.
You haven't, have you?
Only in my dreams. Oh, how I've dreamt of this house. But even in my dreams, it was never quite so lovely.
We are glad you are pleased.
Oh, but I'm not glad. I'm dejected. This place is yours. It's really yours. It lives and breathes like you.
That is hardly surprising.
And yet, it also feels like mine.
It is yours, Cousin Toni.
Oh, but now you're forced to share it with a stranger.
You are no stranger.
If only I could give it back to you.
Nonsense. The whole the whole estate is rigidly entailed. Ever since our great-grandmama died, we have been wrong in staying here.
Oh, but you shall stay. No one will put you out. As long as it is mine, it will be yours. You will stay here. It will be your home.
You are very kind, Cousin Toni.
I need someone to help me manage the estate. You must stay.
But we were totally unprepared for this.
Please.
Very well, since you are so kind.
Now I'm glad. And you, Douglas?
Oh, Francis speaks for us both.
Now I'm really happy. I won't alter a stone of it without your consent. You must tell me everything that is required. It's so much like a human being, this old house.
And like a human being, it has its darker side.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Oh, I assure you. Not only do you have its handsome facade, its solid frame and massive walls, its arches and its timbering. You have its shadowy foundations, the unseen origins on which it stands, like the subconscious of the human mind.
You have its grim, dark passages below.
Oh, I believe nothing evil of this house. I feel so safe and protected here. Oh, I would not be afraid in its dark passages.
Well, perhaps you'd change your mind if you took a trip down to the old cellar.
Down there? Oh, that shows you don't know me very well yet. I'd take an instant down there if I didn't have Miss Richards on my hands.
We could always look after her.
No, I really must get back to her. But afterwards, Francis Douglas, won't it be exciting?
Seems a pity, doesn't it?
What does?
She's so obviously out to please, so pathetically anxious to be fair to us, to pull money into our estate.
It's money she can well afford.
Such an innocent nature, so sweet, gentle, affectionate, so trusting.
All the easier for us.
It's just a shame that there's no other way.
What are you suggesting?
Just sadly reflecting that you've rejected marriage.
We could, of course, give it reconsideration.
I'm glad you think so.
If you do not think it unwise to alter tack once we have set our course.
I think it's advisable that marriage is an excellent solution. She's so childish and unworldly, like putty in our hands. There should be no difficulty at all. Do let us reconsider marriage.
It might surprise you to find out that I already have.
Indeed.
Oh, yes. Last night I gave the subject a great deal of thought.
Last night.
After I saw the girl, yes.
Why should that make any difference? I was prepared to marry her before, I still am.
Oh, Francis. I meant to marry her myself.
My dear Douglas, what are you saying? Marriage was my suggestion. I attend to that.
But last night you refused to consider such a solution.
Nonsense, Douglas. I advocated marriage.
Yes, for me.
And you turned it down.
Oh, I was grossly ill-informed.
So was I. Besides, all the essentials were correct.
What? Flat? Plain?
Those are not essentials.
Oh, Francis, if I have to spend the rest of my life with Cousin Toni,
It's
then
not you, it is I.
I married the girl or no one.
Why are you being so unreasonable?
If you insist on killing the girl,
Well, it is you then.
let us not debate at so vital a moment. The bait is poised on a hairspring, 4 tons of debris suspended over the victim's head. Our cousin panting to try her luck, our alibis waiting to swear our innocence. Now is not the time for differences.
Of course, you're right. What is our next step?
When she returns, I will suggest a drink to celebrate her visit. I will then seize the opportunity to show her the way below. The rest is easy.
Harris, we intend to use the old cellars again.
Yes, sir. Is that not dangerous?
Why would it be?
It has been unsafe for some time, sir.
Nonsense. We've never had an accident down there. Not a fatal one.
No, sir.
Then don't argue, Harris. The Bollinger 33 is now in the old wine cellar.
Very good, sir.
It's just as well to establish the situation beforehand.
I told you it was futile, didn't I?
Oh, thank you so much, gentlemen. It has been most good of you. I have taken several delightful photos of the gallery.
We are delighted to hear it. Why don't you stay for a drink before you go? I was about to ring for Harris. We were going to grab a bottle from below.
What a sweet idea.
Oh, don't bother ringing for Harris. This is Tony's opportunity.
What do you mean?
Oh, this is her chance to see the terrors of the deep.
Oh, of course, I'd love to go.
No, we can't have you doing that.
She said she wouldn't be afraid.
I'm not.
If you insist. It's the shop turning to the left as you reach the bottom of the steps. Bend low, else you'll hit your head on the roof.
Miss Oberon, you don't mean to go down there.
Why not?
Why not indeed? There's nothing in the dungeons now, you know.
It looks so dark, and you don't even know the way.
Not to worry. I'll go with her.
Oh, no, I'll go myself.
You must let Douglas go with you.
I go by myself or not at all.
Very well.
Sharp left and bend my head.
Did you see how keen she was to go, Miss Richards? She's been talking about those cellars ever since she arrived.
You shouldn't have let her go.
Oh, how could we stop her?
Miss Oberon is of age and capable of looking after herself.
She could get lost. She could stumble and fall and hurt herself.
Highly unlikely.
I don't hear anything.
Neither do I. Not a sound. What the devil's happened?
Listen.
Something's gone wrong. I'm going to make sure.
Where's he going?
To help Miss Oberon. Perhaps you were right. It's silly of us to let her go down by herself.
What's that?
Good gracious, it sounded like something collapsed. Let us hope Cousin Toni was clear of it.
Oh, good heavens! Part of the roof has fallen in!
How dreadful.
Oh, that's her. She's been hurt. She's been trapped. We must go down and help her.
Douglas will attend to her.
What's happened?
Perhaps I ought to go and see.
Francis, help
Oh,
me!
what is it? Miss Oberon?
Help me, Francis! Something seems to have fallen on Cousin Douglas!
Don't bang me about! Damn you, Harris!
I'm very sorry, sir.
How are you, Douglas?
No, I'd be a lot better if Harris would give my broken bones a chance.
I did my best, sir.
He took me over every bump, every pitch and toss on the whole estate. It's obvious he doesn't want me to walk again.
What was the doctor's verdict?
He said it would be at least 3 weeks before I could even stand. But what with Harris wheeling me around like a ship in a storm, it'll be more like 3 years.
He had one slight mishap, sir. The grass verge. Nothing more.
Well, you must understand, Harris. Douglas is not his usual judicial self, London village.
I understand, sir.
This leg is giving him a great deal of pain.
And then he left me out in the damp evening air.
Well, the doctor said fresh air, sir.
That will do, Harris, I understand.
Clumsy devil.
I'll push you around myself in the future.
Oh, to be quite frank, you are not much better.
Perhaps Cousin Toni.
She at least showed a little care and attention for me. She took me up and down the road this morning and only pitched me on my nose once.
I noticed she'd been very solicitous. That should make things much easier.
I had thought of that. Nothing quite like being at the mercy of a woman's loving care for winning her confidence. Oh, we are as thick as thieves now, Toni and I.
Most satisfactory. And when is the endeavor?
Tonight.
Douglas, how can that be?
You and Harris are going out, aren't you?
Yes.
Then she will be alone here with me.
True. What can you do in this condition?
Exactly. What can I do? A man confined to his wheelchair, in pain, in agony, unable to stand for weeks? How could such a man ever walk? When they find her body strangled upstairs, what suspicion could they possibly attach to me?
I'm distracted, Douglas. I think this accident has jarred you mentally.
I have been jarred in every way but mentally. Look, just give me a second.
You can walk.
Yes, each step I take nearly kills me, but I can walk.
But the doctor...
Yes, I know. It's enough to keep most men in their beds for a month. And I did make it seem worse than it actually was. But it's alibis we need now, Francis. And this leg of mine is one we want.
Oh, my dear Douglas, what a heaven-sent blessing. What are you going to do?
I will catch her when she is off her guard down here. Then I will drag her body upstairs and phone the police to tell them I heard sounds of a struggle, but I'm unable to check because of my wheelchair.
I believe you have hit on the very plan.
Oh, trust me, I'm not likely to give up because of a setback at the first endeavor.
It was extraordinary, wasn't it? That affair in the cellar.
It was devilish bad luck. And devilish heavy bricks. One more step and it would have been up with me.
I can't make it out. Where was she? How did Toni get out of the way?
I was too busy in keeping the roof off my head to notice.
I just can't understand it.
Forget about it, Francis. Nothing good comes from dwelling on past failures. This time we will succeed.
I was wondering if she could possibly suspect.
What could she suspect?
I don't know. I just find it funny that she should have got out of there alive.
It was the merest chance, I tell you. A piece of luck, an accident. If she had not seen a big black rat and run the other way...
Yes, that's the story.
You know the cellars are full of rats.
I think it was a most opportune rat for anyone to have encountered.
Oh, don't be so exasperating, Francis. What on earth could she know? What could she guess? That we were trying to bury her under a fallen wall? If so, then why did she go?
She may have suspected us since.
Ah, but if she suspects we tried to kill her, then she must suspect we try it again.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Then why does she stay?
I don't know.
Don't be silly, Francis. It isn't logical. Besides, does she act as if she feared any harm? Not a bit of it. She's as meek and mild and friendly as I'd like to see anyone. In fact, I'd like to wager that she'll let me put this scarf around her neck to see it match the color of her hair.
I hope you're right.
Of course I am.
Well, good luck. In any case, you won't have much time. Harrison is driving me down to the station. I shall make some inquiries and come back.
How long will you be gone?
15 minutes.
That's time enough to make sure of a dozen fortunes. Leave it to me.
I was about to bring the car around, sir.
Very good, Harris.
Will Miss Oberon be joining us?
Why would she, Harris?
I merely wondered whether to take one run or two.
No, Harris, Miss Oberon is not coming.
Very good, sir.
Miss Oberon said she would be more than happy to stay and look after me.
How very kind, sir.
What do you suppose Harris thinks?
What Harris thinks he will keep to himself. He belongs to the house.
But which side of the house might he choose to support?
Once she is dispatched, he will accept the fait accompli. That will be his reality. It's all he needs now.
That's all we need.
How's the poor invalid this evening?
Oh, not too bright, Toni. Thank you.
Oh, you poor thing.
And he's a bit sharp-tempered too, so you'll have to excuse him.
Well, I don't blame him. I think he's a brave boy for not giving more of a fuss. Why, if it had been me, I'd given up the ghost by now.
Well, I'm sure even Douglas can say he's glad it happened to him and not to you.
Oh, anything rather than that.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. You dropped your scarf, my dear. You must take care of yourself. You mustn't catch cold. Yeah, that's better. I went to the village this morning to get you a present. All the shops were closing, but I managed to get some grapes and a pineapple.
Pineapple?
I asked Harris what was your favorite fruit.
That was very considerate. I did not expect that. Not even my brother has bought me a pineapple.
I ran into the doctor on my way back. I was most upset. I suppose he told you everything.
No, he kept nothing back.
Dreadful, isn't it?
It's not as bad as that.
Francis, how can you say that? How would you like to never be able to stand straight again?
What?
He told you that, didn't he?
What? What did he tell you?
He said you may never stand again.
That's a lie. I can.
What have I said?
Look, I can.
Douglas, what are you doing?
Help me, I can.
Sit down, damn you! You cannot stand, you cannot get up. It may be weeks before you can walk again. In fact, you may never walk again.
Oh, yes. That's right. Of course I cannot stand. How foolish of me. Did he say I never would?
He said something like that. He was in a hurry. Perhaps I didn't hear him properly.
No, I'm sure it was an exaggeration, but he is right. It will take some time.
I'm sorry to have upset you. I think you'll get better in no time. You'll be walking very soon.
Forgive me. The sudden news made me forget myself.
I'm sure Cousin Tony forgives you. He's very weak, I'm afraid. I hate to go and leave him when he's in this excitable condition, but I really must.
Oh, I quite understand. You need not worry about Cousin Douglas. I'll look after him.
You are very kind. I do hope you'll remember to behave yourself, Douglas. You very nearly did a very silly thing.
I know.
Don't scold him. Must be so dull to have to sit in this chair all day.
No, I never find it dull.
Don't you?
I always have my thoughts.
I was about to bring the car around, sir, when I saw Miss Richards.
Oh?
The lady journalist, sir.
What can she want?
Are you expecting her?
No, I can't think of what she wants. Where is she, Harris?
She's walking along the drive.
Wheel me out of here, will you, Francis? I can't stand newshawks at the best of times, and I certainly don't want them slithering around as long as I'm in this ridiculous chair.
What a nuisance.
Perhaps Cousin Tony will soon get rid of her.
I'll try.
We could drive her to the village when we go.
That's a good idea. We don't want anything to disturb Douglas while he's in this state.
Thank you, Tony. I knew you'd understand.
Show her in, Harris. Douglas and I will be in the library.
Are you at home, miss?
I think so, Harris.
Miss Richards.
Oh, Miss Richards, it's so nice of you to call.
Good evening, Miss Efron. I just popped in to give you the first draft of my article. I do hope you will have time to read it before I send it to my editor.
You finished it so soon.
I dashed it off in a blaze of inspiration. A perfect scoop. Your cousin's accident was a godsend.
Rescue from the ruins. Sounds exciting. When do you wish to have it back?
Oh, press day is Friday. Shall we say Thursday at about this time?
Certainly.
And by then we shall know if your cousin's going to be all right.
Oh, I'm sure he will be.
How is he today?
Just managing to get around in a wheelchair, poor dear.
Oh, our readers will be enthralled to hear this progress week by week. When they see this article, I haven't the slightest doubt that they will adopt him on the knitting for invalids' pay.
Oh, I think Douglas might be a little embarrassed by that.
Oh, then we won't tell him, and then when his woolies and mittens arrive, they will come as a complete surprise.
I haven't the slightest doubt.
Besides, he deserves a little fussing. He's had a narrow escape. He nearly lost his life.
Dear me, Miss Richards, certainly you don't kill people as easily as that.
Why, I've heard of some extraordinary accidents happening in this house. They were telling me in the village last night. It's so dilapidated, it seems.
I know. That's what makes it so exciting. You never know what's going to come down on you next.
Are you sure we're quite safe in this room?
I would think so, yes.
Well, I shouldn't like to be here by myself.
Well, I'm lucky I have my cousins with me.
That must be very comforting in such a rambling old place. I mean, after all, you could get lost, and they must know their way about.
Oh, good gracious. This house doesn't frighten me. You forget that the halls are haunted by my ancestors. Do you think they'd let any harm befall me?
Well, when part of the foundations collapse on your cousin, it shows that your ancestors aren't quite as reliable as they might be.
Nevertheless, I'm not frightened of this house, nor of anything in, under, or around it. Oh, I feel so safe, so protected. I need to go. I'm sorry. I'm to look after Douglas this evening. He's very tired. He'll probably go to sleep early, and then I can finish reading your article.
Tell me what alterations it needs.
Certainly. On second thought, Miss Richards, perhaps you would be kind to let me borrow your camera.
My camera?
Well, I promised to be very careful with it. I just thought that maybe I could take a few shots of the house for the article.
Oh, an excellent idea.
I can't promise anything worth printing, but I shall do my best. Oh, Harris, Miss Richards is leaving. Can you please put this camera safely into my room? Now, Miss Richards, I really must be going. Good night.
This side up, Harris.
Yes, madam.
This is the flash.
I trust it is quite safe, madam. It is not detonated, so to speak.
What do you mean?
It will not explode.
It's a camera, Harris, not a bomb.
Very good, madam.
Good evening, Miss Richards. My cousin tells me you are returning to town. Harris is driving me there. Pray accompany me.
Oh, thank you very much.
And when are you returning to town?
Oh, I must go back in a day or two now.
Cousin Toni will be sorry to see you go. I'm afraid Douglas and I are but dull company.
Oh, she has just told me otherwise.
I'm glad to hear it. But she'll lack feminine society when you've gone.
We've come to see you off. Douglas does not like receiving in this chair. It makes him uncomfortable to see a lady stand when he is unable to do so.
Well, I think he is lucky just to be in that chair.
Oh, if I'm to be in any chair, I'm glad it is this one.
The car is at the door, sir.
Very good. This way, Miss Richards. It won't be long, Cousin Toni.
Oh, don't worry. Douglas is in safe hands. Good night.
Good night.
They've gone. We're alone. It always makes me feel cozy to be left alone in a house after people have gone. Does it you?
I never really thought about it.
Well, what would you like to do? I have your pineapple here. Would you like a slice?
Oh, that would be delicious.
You have to cut it with silver or glass, you know.
Well, what have you got there?
Glass. See? Isn't it lovely?
Oh, yes. Very lovely indeed.
Well, would you like a slice?
Oh, yes, of course.
Pineapple's one of my favorite fruits as well. I knew we would have so much in common. We're going to be best friends. This looks like a nice, juicy one. I can smell it already. There we are. Sticky.
You're not having any?
No, thank you. I have a book here I thought you might like if I read to you.
Oh, I would like nothing better.
This is one of my favorite chapters. How are you getting on? Said the cat. I don't think they play it all fairly, Alice began. And they all quarrel so badly one can't hear oneself speak. Just then the king asked,
Who are you talking to?
"There's your cat," said Alice.
I don't like the look of it.
Said the king.
It must be removed.
He called to the queen, "Have this cat removed." "Off with his head," she said, and then they... Douglas! Douglas, you're walking! I want Francis to be excited! Oh, my dear, you're so brave! It takes more than a ton of bricks to kill an Oberon, doesn't it? Oh, there you go. Have courage, Douglas. There, this way. There you are. You can do it. One step or two.
Don't move, cousin.
This
Toni.
way, come away from the
Don't
table.
move.
Come
I'm
to
coming.
Cousin Toni. you. There, you're so brave. You were doing so good. We'll try again later. How about that? There we go. All right, breathe in, breathe out. There you are. All right, let's have a seat over here on the sofa. There, careful, gentle. Oh, your scarf. You need that, of course, to help you feel better. Would you like a scarf?
No, thank you. You keep it, Tony. It goes prettily with the colour of your hair.
Here, lie down.
Mr. Francis wishes, good heavens. Miss Oberon, you haven't.
Mr. Douglas isn't feeling well, Harris.
Mr. Francis, come here, please. Something terrible has happened.
Harris, what are you shouting about? What's the matter now?
This way, sir. Come quickly. Something tragic. Miss Oberon.
What's happened to Miss... Good God! Douglas! What's happened to Mr. Douglas?
I do not know, sir.
Go to Miss Oberon's room. See if she is there.
I'm here, Francis.
You.
Douglas was trying too hard. He's just a little tired, that's all.
What has he been trying to do?
Trying to catch me.
What?
You didn't know, did you? He can walk a little, and well, we were trying to practice a little, and in our excitement, he overdid it.
So this is how you look after him?
You are quite wrong, Francis. If anything, I am grateful to Cousin Toni. I pushed myself too hard, and I would have never gotten back here had it not been for her help.
Can I fetch you anything, sir?
Oh no, Harris, not for me. But get something for Cousin Toni. I'm sure she had a trying time.
I am a little weak. A reaction, I suppose. I think I'll just go to bed early. Don't bother with the drink, Harris.
Very good, miss.
I'm sorry if you think it was my fault, Francis. I was only trying to help. I was so proud of him, and I...
What happened? What's the meaning of this? You look dead. Wet with perspiration, you've gone white as a sheet.
Oh. I'm finished, old boy.
You mean you're dying?
No. I'm finished as far as Toni is concerned. Ugh. I don't know yet if she knew or not. She had me on the floor, a broken man. And only then did she pick me up. Oh, and then she put the scarf round her neck. Stood as close to me as you please. But I didn't have the guts left in me to tie the knot.
You must be mad or drunk.
Oh, I'm sober and sane. I know when I've met my match.
Did she know what you intended?
It's impossible to say. Not by as much of a look did she show it.
We can try again.
Oh, she's beaten us.
She has not beaten me.
Marriage or murder? Would she marry us now? Not on your life. And I'm too afraid to fire the shot.
Very well. I'll do it myself.
You? You never could.
It's tonight or never, I feel, if you're so easily defeated.
Easily? My God, man. She nearly broke my heart before I cracked.
I've been a lot more than you do, Douglas. Perhaps I don't crack so easily.
What do you intend to do?
I'm going to her room. We haven't a moment to lose.
What have you got there?
It's a glass knife.
Oh, my pineapple!
I'm turning out the lights.
What for?
Harris must think we've gone to bed. You, stay here. I'll push you in the shadow of the alcove.
You know I don't like being left alone.
What has happened to you? It'll be all right. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Oh, as you say.
Right, Francis. I decided I would have that drink after all, so I went down to the 7th staircase, and Harris made me a strong one. See? Oh, I think you dropped something, Francis. Oh, it's the pineapple knife. Is pineapple your favorite fruit as well? Good night. Good night, Douglas.
Does she know?
Good
Does she
night.
suspect?
Good night, Douglas.
Does she know?
Well, aren't you going somewhere?
How can I go?
Oh, I thought not.
What did you expect me to do? Put the knife in her neck as she handed it to me?
Exactly. What are either of us supposed to do? Neither of us can lay a finger on her.
There must be a way. There must be a way. We can't be so easily defeated. Douglas. Douglas, there is a way. A way which will finish her as swiftly and neatly as a blow in the back, and will look more like an accident.
What do you want Harris for? He'll be in bed by now.
Not he.
What is it, sir?
Harris. Mr. Douglas and I are appalled by the current state of the cellars. The passages are overrun with rats.
I know that, sir.
We cannot allow these vermin in the place.
No, sir.
We have decided to get rid of them.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Harris. A large black rat frightened Miss Oberon. We cannot have that.
No, sir.
Tomorrow morning, Harris, fetch us some poison.
Arsenic, sir, or strychnine.
Oh, it doesn't matter, Harris. Any will do.
Very good, sir.
What a master stroke, old boy. Why didn't we think of that before? Good night, Harris.
Good night, sir. Good night.
There will now be a 15-minute intermission. Please enjoy concessions in the lobby or right here for PRU Academy. The show will resume in 15 minutes.
Lovely afternoon, isn't it, Harris?
It is indeed, miss.
Oh, the garden is a mass of colour. I've never seen it looking quite so exquisite.
Yes, miss. Spring is always a delightful time of year here.
I think you should have many more such springs, Harris.
I'm sure we will, miss.
What have you there?
These are commissions for Mr. Francis and Mr. Douglas from the village, miss.
Do you know where they are?
No, miss. I'll leave them here, if I may.
It is beautiful, but there's something fleeting about the loveliness of spring. It almost makes me sad.
I'm sure there's no need for that, miss.
An irrational sadness, I'm sure. Or perhaps we sense the transience in all things, including our poor selves in the swift life of spring.
The summer and autumn have their own qualities, miss.
That is true. I must change the flowers in the library.
Excuse me, sir, but the apothecary wished me to ask you or remind you that there is an outstanding account.
What the devil does he mean? Haven't we been dealing with him for the past 350 years? What does he want to mention his accounts for now?
Yes, sir, I told him as much.
This mine.
Yes, sir.
The library looks much better now, Harris.
A few flowers makes all the difference, miss. I remember in the times of your great-grandmother, the whole house was alive with them. The rooms were festooned and garlanded with roses, pinks, azaleas, tulips. It was like the tides of the sea, miss, the flowers that came tumbling in here. And with every passing season, there was a fresh invasion of perfume, and yellows and blues.
I should like to bring in some blossom.
She used to bring in blossom, and a branch broken by her hand didn't die till we had tasted the fruit.
Then we can but try.
Mr. Douglas, I take it, has already received his packet.
5 minutes ago, sir.
Very good. Have you seen Miss Oberon?
She is in the garden, sir.
Is she busy?
I fancy she is plucking blossom, sir.
Whatever for?
She is decking the house with flowers, sir.
Wreaths and bouquets.
Beg pardon, sir.
How very prophetic.
Where should I put these, Harris?
Your great-grandmother always put them in the banquet hall.
Then we cannot do better.
Putting this package out in the hall, Harris. See it isn't touched.
Very good, sir. Will it be collected by the postman?
Mind your own business, Harris. Oh, and if anybody needs me, I'll be in the music room overlooking the drive.
Very good, sir.
You were quite right, Harris. The banquet hall has lost its gloomy shadows, and a pale bundle of leaves has made it a friendlier place.
There was a time, miss, but why am I thinking of it?
Tell me, please. I should like to hear.
There was music and dancing in the great hall in those days, miss. There was colour and movement, and none of the sombre greys which have crept over the house since I was a boy.
I'll tell you a secret. I'm having the house redecorated. A spring clean from head to foot. And you'll no longer be the only servant, but the butler at the head of his staff.
Miss Oberon!
The walls will be prepared and painted anew. The glass will sparkle, and the fresh air will fill the empty rooms.
Oh, and the cellars, miss. Will you have those bricked up?
No, Harris. We'll keep them as they are. But you never know when they might be useful again.
I can't wait for it to begin, miss. When will that be?
Well, it won't happen until I come back again.
Then you're going away.
Well, I can't stay here forever. This is only a visit. I came to meet my cousins and see the home. Next time I'll...
When will that be, miss?
Well, I won't come back unless I'm invited.
I didn't want to say anything, miss, but I feel you ought to know that you're...
Harris, could you bring Miss Oberon and myself afternoon tea?
Very good, sir.
He's a talkative fellow.
I find him fascinating. He worships this house. It's his religion.
It exerts a spell over a number of people. But Harris permits himself a certain amount of ostentatious enthusiasm.
It's true he's unable to disguise his emotions as we do.
The display of emotion has always struck me as a little ill-mannered.
I agree. And how we do disguise our thoughts and emotions. What stranger would have guessed my fears when I first arrived here? What stranger would have guessed your resentment?
Cousin Toni.
Do not protest, Francis. Coming here was to mean so much to me. I was to meet my only relations and see the ancestral home. It was an ordeal for me, but I don't think you could tell by the look on my face.
To tell the truth, I did not.
You forget as confidence and friendship have grown between us. Can I tell you a secret?
You know you can trust me.
I'm in love.
Do I know the man?
I'm in love with 2 men and a house.
I see.
What are you thinking?
It occurred to me, just a sudden thought, that I seem to have been nearer to the mark than my brother. Douglas and I had discussed you before you arrived, what you would be like and such. Upon reflection, I appear to have been the more accurate.
I too had my thoughts on you before I arrived, but I never imagined anyone quite like Douglas.
Don't you like him?
It isn't that, he's just different from us, that's all.
Us?
You and me.
Do you mean...
And let us not dwell on differences. Douglas is as he is, and we are as we are.
That, at least, is incontestable.
Only I could have a swift glimpse into your heart.
You may find some very surprising things.
Not unwelcome, I'm sure.
I would hope not.
Perhaps you find it immodest of me to be so frank, but never before have I met anyone quite so much like myself, with whom I felt so much at home.
Do you mean me, Cousin Toni?
You know I do. With you, I don't have to pretend. I'm content to tell you my faults and weaknesses.
My dear Toni...
I'm content to put my safety and care in your hands.
Do you realize what you're saying?
Of course. But it's no surprise I should feel this way. You are my cousin.
A distant cousin, very distant, several times removed.
But there seems to be a tie so closely binding us together. What else could it be?
I don't know. I need to think. You don't seem to realize what you've been implying. Well, you practically suggested that, well, that you love me.
I do love you, I told you.
Did you?
I said I love 2 men.
2?
You and Douglas.
Douglas.
Where would you like it, sir?
The tea. I'd forgotten. Over there, Harris.
Very good, sir. Will you pour, Miss Oberon?
No need. Don't get up, Tony. I will pour.
Thank you.
Are you sure you would like me to do it, sir?
I can do it, Harris.
Very good, sir.
That will be all. Harris, why are you standing unbound?
I thought you might like me to hand Miss Oberon her tea.
I can manage perfectly, Harris. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Harris.
Does he think me incapable of pouring tea without splashing the saucer?
Oh, he likes to look after us, that's all.
By this time he realized we are no longer children. Sugar.
Yes, please, 2 lumps. Harris would have known you since you were boys.
Why, he practically brought us up. Milk.
Yes, please, a little.
China or Indian?
Indian.
Weak or strong?
Weak. And I said 2 lumps, not 3.
I only put in 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw you put in 3.
There we go. I hope it is to your liking.
Thank you.
The tea fall.
No, thank you. Is Douglas not coming to tea?
I think he may be late today.
That's nice. I watched you pouring out.
Why?
Oh, I thought it was sweet, that's all. Made me rather wish that it was always just the 2 of us, that we would never be disturbed. Just you and me, quietly, cozily sitting here drinking tea forever.
Cousin Toni, something you said earlier today has given me courage to speak.
Yes.
Even before you had arrived, I had evolved this special feeling for you.
What was it?
I had this strange premonition. I told my brother of it. For For some unaccountable reason, I felt as though we mean rather much to each other. Never before had I considered marriage.
Francis, before I met you, I knew. Oh, but I can't say this.
Do, Toni, please do. So much depends on it. No, don't drink your tea just yet. Do try Petit Four. Tell me, what did you think?
Well, I just thought that you...
Yes, there's a chance that you care for me in a special way.
Yes.
Stop! I believe I did put 3 lumps of sugar in that tea. Oh, silly me. Allow me to fix that for you. Right, let's see if I remember. 2 lumps, Indian, wheat. I shall never forget how you like your tea. Perfect.
Thank you. Oh, if it were not for this strange feeling about Douglas, I know I could be certain.
Oh, Douglas.
If he did not exist, I know I could be happy with you.
Has Douglas been very friendly with you when I'm not here?
A little, but that's only because I felt sorry for him when he was sick. I thought I was to blame, and, well, it's easy for Douglas to make his presence felt in subtle ways.
Is it now?
Oh, don't be angry with him. It's all my fault. I'm so confused. For whom do I really care for? Do either of you really care for me?
You know I do, Toni.
Oh, I hope so. This is delicious tea.
They say it's better from the second cup.
That's so clever. It's like a little joke. I get
Yes,
it.
it was.
Oh, Douglas, I was just wondering when you were coming to tea.
You two seem to be enjoying yourselves.
Is that unusual?
What was the joke?
Oh,
Is it so strange to see us laugh that we must have a post-mortem on it?
Oh, a very apt metaphor.
would you like a cup of tea?
Is Francis drinking?
Of course I am.
Then yes, I will have some.
How would you like it?
With a slice of lemon and sugar, please. That is, Francis recommends both the lemon and the sugar.
Why wouldn't I? What an idiotic thing to say. Excuse me, Toni. I shall be in my room as long as Douglas is going to talk nonsense.
What's the matter with him?
Francis always was a temperamental boy.
Oh, that's sad to hear. How many lumps of sugar?
Just one.
Here you are. Petit Four?
No, thank you. They are too sweet for me.
You don't like sweet things, do you?
No, not very much.
You'd rather have things rough and sour. I've noticed that about you.
Have you?
Oh, it's just that you like things the difficult, dangerous way.
What are you driving at?
Don't look alarmed. Drink your tea.
What exactly did you get out of Francis?
Nothing that would interest you.
Anything about us?
In a way.
Come on, out
Ow.
with it. What did he tell you?
Douglas, you're hurting my wrist.
What
Ow.
did he tell you?
Only that he was in love with me.
In love with you?
There's something so extraordinary in that.
I don't believe it.
You're very rude, and you haven't apologized for hurting my wrist.
How could he? I don't believe this.
Well, I don't expect for you to understand why your brother cares for me. I know how unattractive you find me.
And whatever gave you that idea?
Well, it's just that Francis is always so polite to me when you're not around. He goes out of his way to show me friendliness and attention.
No. Go on, tell me. What else does my brother do?
Well, I won't tell you if you're going to be horrid. Douglas, what did I do to make you hate me so?
You are wrong, Toni. I am angry with Francis because of anything I like you more than he does, and it annoys me that you would go behind my back.
I wouldn't have taken him seriously if I had known this.
Did you encourage him?
A little, but that's only because I hadn't known you'd even noticed me.
Oh, you are seldom out of my thoughts, Toni.
Oh, Douglas.
What is it, Harris?
The postman, sir.
I'll go get it.
Do not disturb yourself, sir.
That's all right, Harris. I'll go.
Very good, sir.
Two letters for Francis and a parcel. What do you want, Harris?
Nothing, sir.
Then you may go.
Yes, sir.
And a parcel for me. Let's see what it is.
Are you expecting a package?
Yes, I've been waiting for this for quite a while.
Well, open it up. Let's see what it is. Looks like a present. Oh, what a lovely box of chocolates.
And just to prove that you're always on my mind.
With love to Toni. Douglas, how charming. How sweet. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I hope you like them. They have been specially made.
Oh, they look divine.
Try one and see.
I think I shall, thank you.
No, not that one. That one is hard.
How about this one?
Oh, that's a toffee center. I believe you prefer creams.
How did you know?
Oh, I think I know everything about you.
Well, which other cream?
This one right
You're so clever. You know all about chocolate. I think I'll have it after tea.
here. Oh, but I've finished mine.
Would you like more?
No, thank you.
I think I'll have a second cup.
Oh, very well.
Would you be angry if Francis asked to marry me?
Oh, so that's his game.
Would it mean anything to you?
You know perfectly well it would. Good heavens, Toni, don't throw yourself away on him.
I told him that I couldn't make up my mind.
And what did you say to that?
He said he planned to marry me even before I arrived.
He's a futile bungler, an effete fellow who would bore you in less than a fortnight.
Oh, he can be so sweet.
Sweet. Ah, is that the quality you want in a man?
I haven't much choice. Francis loves me. I think I love him.
Oh, you only think.
Well, I told him that if it were not for you, I could be certain.
What difference do I make?
Well, I deceived myself in thinking Francis was the one, but now the sight of you, the mere thought, and I'm not so sure.
Toni, if that's true, if you mean that, then I promise
If
you
he
that.
didn't exist, I know I could be happy with you.
But you can be.
Oh, I'm so confused. For whom do I really care for? I can't get him out of my mind.
To the devil with Francis.
Oh, if he did not exist, I know I could be so sure.
Just forget about him.
I can't.
No.
No. Douglas, let go of me. I can't think.
Very well, Toni. Think. Who's between my brother and me? I will be waiting.
Well, give me a day or two. I hesitate to hurt his pride. My chocolate.
No, don't touch that.
Why not?
Ah, it is melted against your cup.
Oh, Douglas, I really must go. You ruffled my hair. You smudged my face.
You look divine, but by all means go if you promise to return.
I will.
Well, brother, what success have you had?
Oh, about the same as you, I suppose.
I was unlucky. She had her eye on me.
Oh, but you had your eye on her too, it seems.
And what does that mean?
Oh, I think you know. I thought you were going to finish this whole affair with a cup of tea.
And you were going to make sure of her with a box of chocolates.
There they are.
You've destroyed them.
What did you do with your tea?
Poured it away.
Ah, yes. A change of heart.
Not at all. It just didn't seem the moment was all.
Oh, yes, perhaps the moment has passed. Perhaps we should try something else, like, oh, I don't know, a stab in the back.
I I don't understand you, Douglas, but I take it you two have failed.
I have failed in one venture, but I like to think I have found some success in another.
I do believe you have, Douglas, but perhaps the race is not yet over and the fight not won.
From now on, brother, I know which way to turn and how to guard against another attack.
I too shall be prepared for anyone who tries to steal a march.
We shall see, for it is a rare thing to know who one's true enemy is for the first time and to prepare to deal with him.
The pleasure is mutual, and preparation can be a two-handed thing.
Did you call, sir?
No, Harris, we did not.
Yes, we did, Harry. Take away the tea.
Very good, sir.
Harris, have you seen my cousins?
They went their several ways, miss.
Oh.
If I may be allowed an opinion, miss, I have never seen them at variance before. This is the first time anyone has divided them.
Are they divided?
If I may be allowed an opinion, miss, there is between them just a thin edge of a wedge, a breath of suspicion, of jealousy, doubt.
You say some very amusing things, Harris. I never quite understand what you mean.
Very good, miss. Very good, miss, so long as they don't catch you out.
They won't catch me, Harris.
I hope not, miss. Port, sir.
Brandy.
Brandy, sir.
Port.
Of your interference, I could have married the girl.
Don't fool yourself, Francis. She isn't interested in you.
Every chance we have had, you have thrown away.
And what if you would choose?
Murder was your idea. I left it to you. You bungled the business and the cellar and botched the attempt to throttle the girl.
I seem to remember a knife slipping from your nerveless hand on the stairs.
I repeat, murder was your idea. I suggested marriage from the first and could have succeeded if not for this futile attitude of yours.
Oh, that is an insulting thing to say.
Take it as you please. It was my idea. I, or no one, would marry the girl.
If you insist on making a deadlock out of the affair.
But it is you, confound you!
Oh, don't excite yourself, brother.
To see you ruining our chances of laying our hands on this wealth. That fortune could have been ours by now.
Whose?
Yours and mine. Have you any reason to question it?
I will not give you cause for a grievance.
You have done that already, and you will pay for it. Only one of us can profit from Cousin Toni now.
I take that as a friendly warning, brother.
The withdrawing room is chilly this evening. Douglas, would you ask Harris to serve coffee down here, please?
Yes, of course. Oh.
I think this is the only warm room in the entire house. Thank you, Douglas.
Tony, I hesitated to tell you before, as I did not want to turn you against Douglas, but my brother, I regret to say, is not all he seems.
What's the matter?
He worships wealth and feels he still owns this place. There's no telling the lengths he may go to ensure it remains his.
Douglas.
I was shocked myself when I discovered it. I don't think you're safe here, Tony. I will do my best to get you away.
You're going to look after me?
Of course I am, but I must get you out of his reach first. Don't forget that I've not yet given up hope that one day you may really care for me.
This must have hurt you to tell me. I know how closely you care for your brother.
No longer. When I found out I could not trust him, I cut him out of my confidence.
Does he know?
He suspects, which is what makes it so urgent to act immediately. Tonight, I shall get you away.
What?
Harris is bringing the coffee and... Oh, Francis, I believe he wants to speak to you in private.
Harris wants to speak with me. Most extraordinary. Do excuse me, Tony.
I said that to get him out of the room. Listen, Tony, to have nothing to do with him. He wants to marry you only for your money.
He wants my money?
He has asked you to marry him, hasn't he?
He loves me.
He loves only himself. He is a grasping, vindictive devil who won't share a penny he hasn't got.
What should I do?
You won't marry him, will you?
After what you've told me, I should be afraid to be in this house with Francis.
Don't worry, I think we can get him out of the way.
Well, what will we do?
What sort of joke was that? You knew damn well Harris didn't want to see me.
Indeed. My mistake.
Has he been upsetting you, Tony?
What the devil do you mean by that?
You should know!
Francis! Douglas, please.
I beg your pardon.
I do apologize.
What is the matter with you? You used to be such good friends and now you quarrel over the slightest thing?
I'll go see who it is. As a matter of fact, I could do with some fresh air.
You see how insolent he is?
Oh, try and put up with it. It won't be for too long.
You're right there. I have a feeling we won't be troubled by Douglas much longer. You never drink port, do you, Tony?
No, never.
Didn't think so. Nor will you join me in a brandy, I suppose.
No, thank you.
It's that lady journalist again. She's going back into town, but she wants to see you first.
Oh, Preste, I'd nearly forgotten. Where is she?
In the hall.
Thank you, Douglas.
You will, of course, excuse me.
I will do more than excuse you, brother.
Come along, Miss Richards. My cousins won't eat you. They've gone. I have your article here. Thank you for letting me read it. I changed only one or two things.
Do you think they object to my calling?
My cousins? No, Miss Richards, it's much worse than that. They've had a dreadful quarrel.
But they are such good friends.
They used to be. Oh, now they quarrel over the slightest thing, and I'm afraid they might do each other an injury.
What are they angry about?
Oh, they're fighting over me.
You?
Oh, each is afraid that, well, I'm so afraid, Miss Richards.
Oh, and in such a short time.
I'm afraid I must go away.
Oh, do you really think that would help?
They might see I'm not worth fighting over.
Are they fighting?
Miss Richards, at this very moment, they might be hacking each other into pieces.
Oh,
You're my only chance.
what can I do?
You're going back to town tonight.
Yes.
Then in the morning, I need you to go to this address. It's the Oberon solicitors. Please tell them about my cousins. Tell them that they've become so violent I can't handle them anymore, and I need help.
Why haven't you phoned?
Everywhere I go, they're at my heels.
They follow you? Why?
Each is afraid I might elope with the other.
Suppose things get out of hand. suppose tomorrow morning's not soon enough.
I think I can handle them that long.
As you think best.
Oh, goodness. Here's your camera.
No, thank you.
It served really well. I had several shots, but unfortunately only one of them came out. Here.
What room is this?
It's the cellars, after the accident, of course. See the broken beam and the crumbling walls?
Oh, what is that rope tied across like a rabbit snare?
No, I hadn't noticed it before. You can keep that copy. I have another copy here.
Where did you get this developed?
In the village by the chemist. While I was there, I had a very long-standing debt settled as well.
A very ancient document.
It's very interesting. It looks as if we have served there for many, many years, and, well, we've never paid on the account, so I settled it. Well, it shows that we've had rats since the very beginning. They've always tried to get rid of them, but never been successful. For centuries, all of our purchases have been nothing but cocaine and hashish and bong.
Whatever is that?
It's poison, Miss Richards. Deadly henbane and nightbane and ratshade.
Well, that's enough to exterminate an army.
Oh, goodness. Oh, so you see, you're my only hope. Goodness. Dear.
Your coffee, miss.
Oh, would you like to stay for a cup?
If you don't mind, I think rather not.
I understand. I feel much better now that my commission is in safe hands.
Good night.
Good night.
Will that be all, miss?
Harris, I think I should tell you goodbye now.
I thought as much, miss.
You're very observant, aren't you?
I see a great deal, miss. Excuse me. And then we will have your room, miss. I will prepare your room and wait for you your early return.
Oh, well, a week or two. Did you expect that as well?
I did, miss. and then we'll have the whole house painted anew. Colour and laughter. But it's sad that it has had to come to this. If only they weren't so arbitrary. I've seen them grow up. It's their unconciliatory nature. They won't deviate. They won't give in. They won't bend. They will break first.
They will break, Harris, otherwise I wouldn't be safe, would I?
I'm afraid you wouldn't, miss.
Douglas?
Yes.
Coffee's here. White?
Black.
Is Francis coming?
Oh, I don't know.
Will that be all, miss?
Yes, thank you, Harris. Here you are.
Thank you. Tell me, cousin Toni, you never drink brandy, do you?
No, brandy does not agree with me.
I take port myself.
No, no thank you.
Delicious coffee.
Yes, indeed.
You haven't forgotten what I said.
Not for a moment.
Good. I'll let you know if...
Oh, Francis. I was wondering when you were coming down. Black?
White.
Isn't this lovely? Just the three of us sitting here cozily, happily drinking coffee like when I first arrived?
There have been some unfortunate changes since then.
one or two very unpleasant discoveries.
Why don't the two of you just have a drink and be friends again?
Well, that's the last thing I would do.
Well, if you're not going to be pleasant with each other, then you leave me no choice. I feel I'm to blame and I must go. I'm going to go collect my things. When I come down again, if you've reached a saner state of mind, I'll stay. If not, I'll go tonight.
You go. Tony, go tonight. I will accompany you.
I want you. Have no truck with him. I will take you away.
I'll go myself.
That's impossible. It must be with one of us.
Tell us, Tony. Who's it to be?
I'll tell you when I come down.
No, you must make your choice. Which is it going to be?
Let me collect my things.
One Harris.
Have you finished with the coffee, sir?
Stop fiddling with those damn cups, Harris. Take the coffee and get out.
Very good, sir.
Douglas,
Yes.
have you seen this?
What is it?
It's an account from the chemist in the village. It's receipted. Did you pay for it?
No.
If you did. And what do you make of this?
That's a photograph.
So I see. Do you recognize it?
That's the old cellar.
As I thought.
Why the devil are you showing me these?
I merely wondered if they suggest to you what they suggest to me.
Who would be interested in our cellar and our dealings with the local chemist?
I couldn't say for certain, but perhaps our cousin.
Good God. Tony?
I thought so too.
Good heavens, man, don't you see what this means?
It means our dear cousin is not as innocent as she would have us believe.
She knew about the trap, about the poison, and about us.
She played us off, Douglas, one against the other.
She's made complete fools of us.
I have a great admiration for the girl.
So have I.
But we must not let our admiration come between us and our plain duty to ourselves.
No, of course not.
How lucky she's still in the house.
Why yet? How lucky indeed.
That's the first time I've seen you smile in a long time, Douglas.
Since we have reached such a deadlock on marriage, perhaps we should re-examine our other method.
And that also occurred to me. What do you say to a further attempt?
Oh, I think it is a unique occasion.
You do?
My head reels with the ways and the means. The paper knife remains as sharp. The scarf is still as lethal as ever.
What do you intend?
Oh, Francis, you are squeamish. Perhaps you'd be along for the adventure if I didn't go into details.
Will it look like an accident?
It will look like nothing on earth.
Shall we go and join the lady?
Yes, we shall.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Harris.
About that murder, sir.
What did you say?
That novel, sir, the one you are writing. You asked me whether to marry or murder the girl.
Yes, Harris, of course you remember. You said murder, didn't you?
Yes, sir, I did, but I've changed my mind.
Why?
Murders are so easily detected nowadays, sir, and the general public would not like to see their heroes on the gallows.
Never fear, Harris. We shall avoid that.
I am pleased to hear that, sir. But I enjoy an exciting plot for a quiet evening in the pantry. But I like a satisfactory finish, the one that develops from the characters themselves.
Harris grows more enigmatic as he gets older.
Doddering old fool. Springing it on us like that. Come on, let's go get her. Quiet, Charles.
You were was so long, we were quite worried.
In fact, we were just coming to see you.
I was packing.
Oh, Tony, please do stay out.
No.
The house won't be the same without you.
I've decided I must go.
No, I do suppose we were at fault.
What are you doing?
Oh, we don't want Harris barging in on us as we say our goodbyes now, do we?
What a strange way for Douglas to behave.
I told you, he was dangerous.
You told me you'd look after me.
But you love him, don't you? You're going to marry him, aren't you? When I'm out of the way.
It's not true.
You have a mercurial heart, Tony. You love me one minute and my brother the next. And tell me, is it Francis you are going to marry now?
Tell us, cousin, which is it to be?
Neither of you.
Oh, Tony, don't you think it would have been easier to say that in the first place, instead of arousing our hopes so fruitlessly?
After what you've told me, what do you expect? Do you know that Francis told me that you tried to kill me?
Oh, dear me.
And do you know that Douglas warned me not to marry you?
How could he?
It is a good thing we are not malicious men. Otherwise we would be at each other's throats.
I thought you were.
Does this mean anything to you?
Where did you find it?
Does that matter now? We are sorry about this, Tony, in a way.
Yes, in a way. But you must realize that it had to be either you or us, and you so very nearly won.
Who's that?
It's me, sir. I can't get in.
The door is jammed, Harris. Wait in the pantry till we call for you.
Harris, quickly!
What did you say, miss?
Miss Oberon asked you to be careful not to damage the door.
Very good, sir.
He's gone.
What are you going to do to me?
Oh, it would be as quick and painless a death as one could hope for.
Tell me what it is.
Oh, it would only frighten you.
I'll be brave.
I'm sure she will, Douglas. Do tell us.
Do you remember what happened on Mother's Day to our Aunt Estella?
Oh, no, not that.
What?
Aunt Estella was very interested in the torture chamber, and so is Cousin Tony.
Tell me what it is.
It is a very appropriate mechanism for you, a little contraption of medieval date called the Iron Maiden. A spring trap whose vicious kiss neither man nor maiden may escape.
My cousins, tell me, what did I do?
You took our birthright, Tony. Our house, our lands, our wealth. You took our own, which we want back.
I'll give it back to you. Why didn't you ask so?
Oh no, you cannot sign this particular inheritance away. There is only one way to get it back.
You don't mind if I stay up here, Douglas? The sight of those wretched dungeons always sickens me.
Oh, by all means, stay. This way, Tony.
What a shame that the Oberons should come to such a dismal end.
Do not be perturbed on the family's account, Tony. We shall still be here.
No.
What does that mean?
Miss Richards is on her way to London. She carries an appeal for help, information about a chemist's bill, and a copy of this photograph. Do you think you could survive all these?
You enlisted that woman's aid?
The odds were against me.
What an outrageous thing to do! Francis, as a matter of principle, we ought to carry out with our plan and risk the consequences.
It's no risk. It's a certainty. If I go, you go, and no more Oberons.
No, Oberons. That's unthinkable.
I agree. But if something happens to me, the police will soon be here.
You should have never asked for that woman's help.
The traditional feminine weakness, Douglas. And as you said, it had to be you or us. And you so very nearly won.
Congratulations, cousin. On a well-judged race. You cut it a little fine at the finish.
Is this the finish, Francis?
I can see it coming, Douglas. The evidence is there.
We could always even off the score.
What's the use, brother? Circumstances are too obviously against us. We are marked. Information has been dispersed. We don't improve our situation by putting Tony out of the way.
We could always go after that other woman.
Small fry, Douglas. Let us not demean ourselves.
As you say, Francis. I do apologize for ending your visit on such an alarming note.
Oh, I very clearly understand.
But you do understand. It was either you or us. Here is your wrap and your umbrella.
Your bag.
This is all you'll be taking.
Well, the rest of my things I'm leaving here.
I'll ring for Harris. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Harris! Harris!
It's very sweet of you. It's a shame, really. Things could have been quite so different.
Things are what they must be. There is no changing or effacing them. I never thought you'd make such opposition. Tell us, Toni. How was it you always knew our next step in advance?
Easy. You did exactly what I should have done from the beginning.
Harris, Miss Oberon is leaving.
Yes, sir.
Please put her bag in the back of the car.
Very good, sir.
Well, Cousin Toni, we won't embarrass you by prolonging this party. All that needs to be said has been said. The important things remain, as always, unvoiced.
I understand.
Our regards to Miss Richards. She may one day realize all she truly meant to us.
Of course. Oh, I almost forgot. I wanted to give you this.
What is it?
Marriage or murder? It's a scrap of paper on which we planned a little episode.
When did you find it?
On the evening I arrived.
I suppose you won't join us in one final drink.
Oh, no thank you. But don't let me stop you from having yours. Goodbye, Francis. Douglas, goodbye.
She knew.
Apparently.
Remarkable girl. Tradition will not die so long as she lives here. The police are on their way.
I think our final toast might be in great appreciation of the girl.
If you say so, Francis. To Cousin Toni.
I wouldn't drink that if I were you, sir.
Why not, Harris?
It's poison, sir. And I wouldn't drink that either, sir, if I were you.
And why not, Harris? Is it poison too?
I fancy so, sir.
Who on earth would do such a thing, Harris?
Your brother, sir.
I'd rather die than believe that, Harris.
And who would poison my drink?
Your brother, sir.
There's a contradiction in terms, Harris. My brother is my brother. We are indivisible. Why, it would be illogical to poison myself as to poison him.
Very good, sir, as you say. But there is a strychnine in the one glass and arsenic in the other.
Did you see it done, Harris?
No, sir, but I have my presupposition.
If you must have your intuitions, Harris, keep them to yourself. Besides, you're the one that said the general public does not like to see their heroes finish at the rope's end.
It seems a pity, sir.
Let us have no sniveling sentiment at the final moment, Harris. What would you have us do? Face the indignity of investigation, the public horror, the mundane curiosity, ride the proletariat with excitement, entertain the vulgar middle classes?
Perhaps not, sir.
Besides, Harris, so little is done nowadays in the grand manner. We have lost everything else. Leave us our flourish.
Will that be all, sir?
That will be all, Harris. To Cousin Toni.
To Cousin Toni.